Hello everyone, good evening. Let us talk today about the group testing technique. There are large number of tasks performed and tests are conducted in SSVs. So let us learn about those. What are the techniques the GTOs are applying and what you should know about that. In case you know their technique of testing you, assessing you, then your job becomes easier for your preparation and you will succeed in all GTO tasks. Okay, gentlemen, introduction to the selection system. A selection system is looking at a right man for a right job, effective and cost-effective manner, and the SSBs are looking at potential of the candidate and after training effective officers, so that any candidate they select, they are looking at that he becomes an effective leader in military. And the basic procedure is three techniques applied independently to assess each candidate for military leadership qualities, that is called officer like qualities, OLQs. Much spoken about it. We'll learn about OLQs also and how to imbibe and how to develop those qualities as a leader before you proceed for your interviews. The aim of this presentation and video, gentlemen, is to understand the group testing technique so that you are aware about how the tests are planned and structured and what kind of preparation you would like to undergo. So I intend to make this video and presentation into various parts and discuss with you the parts which are required to be discussed. This introduction we have already carried out, and principles of group testing is the next. Then group situation task, officer like qualities, GTO's work and attitude. How does GTO work on ground, and how does he prepare and structure his tests for you, and what is his attitude going to be towards you? Then finally we'll conclude, and if you have any doubts you can write those in comments in the video at the end. So now we move on to the group testing and we learn about it. Gentlemen, how and why the group testing is carried out? Group testing best conducted in a group, and attempts by the assessor are to evaluate individuals in context of a group, and the role is to determine an individual's ability to function in a group, and based on this two, one is ascertain his actual potential level, second is assess suitability for the armed forces, next is assessment of the candidate is done subjected to the stress. This is most important thing to learn here, is that you will be put under stress, situations will be difficult and the problems will be posed to you, and they are looking at your calmness and your decision making and how best practically you can apply your brain and the kind of approach you are adopting, not getting frustrated or getting under stress, and trying to reach to a solution as early as possible by applying your knowledge. So, gentlemen, let's talk about group effectiveness. What is group effectiveness? It is the sum total of an individual's contribution to the group, and its task can be differentiated into effective level of functioning, that is ELOF, and GC, and stability. We'll discuss them one by one. First and foremost thing we talk about is group effectiveness. We discuss this in three parts. First is ELOF, that is Early Learning Outcomes Framework, that is child development. From the childhood, the candidate who has come here for interview for group task, he is being seen as what has been his behavioral traits and family dynamics and other personality aspects which he has learned at early age. And second is GC, that is golden child. It is kind of family system psychology wherein the child has been brought up in a different kind of environment, and he as a person how he behaves, his behavioral traits, as well as family dynamics. So these are studied or assessed by the assessor. It is ability of the members of the group to relate emotionally with each other and to the task, and to bind the group in the direction of the common task. It means the entire group, not only the individual candidate, entire group, how the group individuals work in the group environment, how they bind themselves towards the or in the direction of common task, as well as how they relate with each other emotionally. Then finally, the stability, ability to stand up to the resistance and frustration without serious impairment of ELOF and GC. So the first 2 points which are there, ELOF and GC, that the candidate should be able to stand up with the and he should have that ability, and the resistance which has been posed, he should not get into frustration, and even if there is some stress, that should not compromise the ELOF and GC. If that has been understood, we can move further. That it talks about the individual's basic learning, behavior, the personality development from his childhood, and that is what is being tested there. How receptive he is, how dynamic he is, how practical he is, what kind of approach he has. He is a negative, positive, pessimist, optimist, all those aspects, and the group cohesion and cooperation, that is what is seen, and his functioning ability under stress and frustration kind of situation wherein the things are moving out of hand, the time is going out of hand, and the solution has not been arrived at. What does he do? How he behaves? And that calmness and steadiness and decision making is also seen in this part. Next aspect, gentlemen, the nature of the group tasks. They are situational, stressful and compelling, and leaderless. So entire group, there's no leader appointed. Anybody can emerge as leader at any stage, if not initially, in mid-course, as well as and final stages, or one could be leader throughout if he is accepted by the entire group, and the situation will vary, and these will be stressful and compelling, and you will be running against the time and options. Gentlemen, let's quickly talk about three-phase group testing. What is three-phase group testing? What is being tested there? The method of the testing is, the basic technique used is understand group of individuals and their interrelationships. Then observe each individual separately to check and recheck particular findings, confirm these, and to resolve any doubts. In case of any doubt about any candidate, whether he is coming out with the good qualities or not, whether he is hiding something, or he is bluffing, or he is not straightforward, or he is really showing his potential, that check, recheck, confirmation, reconfirmation is carried out in this approach. Then is, for this purpose, group is divided into three phases. That is, group situations are divided into three phases: basic series, confirmatory series, and final series. Basic series, basically how you functioning, and he makes his assessment about the individual, and whatever doubts he has got, he confirms in confirmatory series, and in final series, now he is going to make the decision whether he wants to take the particular candidate, or he does not recommend him based on his assessment and the candidate's performance. For better understanding, we'll quickly learn about the principles of group testing. Once we understand the principles of group testing, then we'll be able to prepare ourselves for the group testing, which is being assessed by the assessor, and the test has been structured in such a manner that with these principle, you being aware about this, you will be able to understand what is being expected out of you and how you should perform. Gentlemen, the principles of group testing technique now, first thing comes is gestalt. That is, it refers to a unified whole that is perceived as greater than the sum of its individual parts. It means आपका समग्र रूप means आप क्या हैं, whole. So that is what is tested. Then is social field, how socially you are active, how adaptable you are with the society. Then your consistency in performance and group development, how you interact with the group, free association and sociometry. That is what is checked. Let us learn about them in our subsequent slides. Let us learn about what is the Gestalt method. It is a configuration. Configuration is an organized whole, a pattern, or a form, is not a summation, that is, a sum total of independent parts, but integration, where each part is interlinked with the other parts and with the whole. It means there is a whole and there are parts. They are integrated, and it is not sum of all these independent parts, but it is integration of all this. And second is perception. Perception is more than a mere awareness of sense data present and has three aspects. First aspect is presentative aspect, that is the actual sense data present. Then is representative aspect, revival of similar past experience. And then relational aspect, saying the relation between the two and giving an interpretation. Figure and ground, that is observing and understanding. That situation will be posed before you on ground, and that is how they are looking at you. And this Gestalt method is looking at a wholesome of that individual. Gestalt एज ए प्रिंसिपल हमने देखा जेंटलमैन. स्टेजेस ऑफ Gestalt हम अभी करेंगे डिस्कस. इंटीग्रेशन इसमें पहला एस्पेक्ट होता है. इट इज अबाउट परसीविंग ए थिंग और ए फेनोमेनन एज ए होल. कोई भी चीज को परसीव करने के लिए उसको एज ए होल उसको हम परसीव कर लेते हैं, समझते हैं उसके बारे में. देन डिफ्रेंशिएशन करते हैं उसका. इंटीग्रेशन के बाद आता है डिफ्रेंशिएशन. दिस इज concentrating or focusing one's attention on parts, lifting attention to other parts and studying each part in a continuous interlinked series of the whole. किसी भी एक चीज को अगर आप उस पर कंसंट्रेशन अपना ले जाते हैं, उस पर अटेंशन देते हैं, तो उसको एक एक पार्ट्स को समझते हैं with its relation and interlink with the whole part. So this is how you understand this differentiation. Then reintegration, replacing the parts to the whole and whole to the parts. It means when you have understood the whole thing, then you separate out the parts, and once you have separated out, you again assemble them, make it a whole, so that entire problem you have understood as a whole also, as part also. This is what the simplest way I can tell about it to you, and you understood this. We move forward. सो अब हम समझते हैं जिस्ट ऑफ द जिस्टॉल जो हमने पढ़ा था एज ए प्रिंसिपल क्या होता है. उसमें बेसिक सीरीज जो है that is integration phase. GTO gets general impression of candidates gestalt, and then confirmatory series, what it tries to do is, that is the differentiation phase. GTO explores candidates ability to greater depth by intense observation and by focusing attention on smaller number of candidates. Means the group is divided into smaller groups, subgroups. So now as a whole he has seen you in the group. What we are talking about कि पूरे को समझ लिया, पार्ट्स को समझ लिया, फिर उसको रीइंटीग्रेशन कर लिया. तो वही को अप्लाई कर रहा प्रिंसिपल को कैंडिडेट्स के साथ में. पहले पूरे ग्रुप के साथ उसको उसने समझा, उसके ग्रुप की जो एक्टिविटीज, कोहेजन, कोऑपरेशन और उसका कंट्रीब्यूशन, वो समझने के बाद में फिर डिफरेंशिएशन फेज में जब आते हैं तो देन वी टॉक अबाउट दैट कैंडिडेट्स का नंबर कम हो जाता है, वो फोकस ज़्यादा डालता है, कम नंबर होते हैं जब कैंडिडेट, तो देन ही नोज मोर अबाउट दीज कैंडिडेट्स, देन ही गोज इनटू द फाइनल सीरीज, दैट इज रीइंटीग्रेशन फेज. Concentrate and concentration is again directed to the whole group for total behavior of the candidate. Now candidates would have gone through large number of tests and in a whole group and a smaller group, subgroup, and also then they would have had their command task. Now lot of understanding has gone into it and they have some bit of experience now. Now the whole group is again together, that is the confirmatory phase of the Gestalt principle. So individual is observed as part of the group interacting with other candidates in a dynamic manner. That dynamism has to be seen in the candidate, that is what is being assessed by the assessor there. And then candidates who work in main portion of the group are in the direct observation, they are figure because they are working with the main group, while others are in the background, they are the ground. So you have to be in a foreground, you have to be active in the group, otherwise you will not form part of this figure. And if you are in a background and you are silent, you are not contributing, then you become ground. That is what is the technique for assessing candidates in Gestalt method. Gentlemen, second thing is social field theory. Now, social field theory में होता क्या है? Field of related energy. When you are in a group, you are tested and you are seen, you are observed, how you behave in the group, how you function, how you interact. That is what is field of related energy in social field theory. First point says social function, best observed in which the individual interacts with other members, influencing them and being influenced by the others. So when you are in a group, you may influence them the way you have your awareness, your personality and knowledge and way you handle things, that you may influence people with. And if you find people, whichever way they are, they also influence you directly or indirectly when you are interacting with the group. Then is from a certain environment comprising a situation and an individual. A situation and an environment, they are there and with each individual. That individual is in a particular environment with particular situation, how he behaves in that, that behavior is function of a person interacting with the environment. This is what is being checked here. So, gentlemen, now you may ask me why you are studying this application of social field theory and Gestalt method and GTO techniques and various methods. You may learn it from other YouTube channels, and there is a method given, and they are showing some obstacles being, negotiated and performed. The solution is, and a group is being worked out. अगर आपको एक theory पता नहीं होगी कि इसका basis पता नहीं होगी, every situation will be different. So once you know the principles, once you know the methodology, then you can relate to the ground and the present situation. This is how we intend to getting into the details of it, so that the presentation and the video is in a two-way method, that if you don't understand, you fall back. Otherwise, I am telling you what is written there in my presentations, you understand that and you apply it. Once you go on the ground, any kind of situation may come, you can relate it to that and you will be able to do it. Anything, everything which is being performed by the candidate there in coaching institutes, that may not be repeated there. So, application of mind, if you learn it now from the beginning, you will not have any problem. You will find it easier. So let's talk about application of social field theory, that is behavior to be observed in a totality of existing facts. What are the existing facts? And the behavior of the individual is seen in that, that is observed. If these are the existing facts, how the individual is behaving, existence of dynamic field of forces in each individual, what dynamic forces are there in the individual, what is he carrying with them, and it has influence on the others to strengthen them or to weaken them. सो जो भी डायनामिज्म इंडिविजुअल दिखा रहा है, क्या उसका ग्रुप के ऊपर क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, इंडिविजुअल के ऊपर क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, क्या वो जो इन्फ्लुएंस है, जो डायनामिज्म है उसका, वो क्या नेगेटिव डायरेक्शन में है, पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन में है. डायनामिज्म अगर उसका होगा तो ग्रुप के साथ में ग्रुप को सपोर्ट करते हुए देन ही विल स्ट्रेंथन द ग्रुप, otherwise he is going to weaken the group. Then is the effective behavior of the individual can be observed when he is part of a situation along with others. When there is a situation, you are part of that situation with other people. So how you function in that group, that is the collective task for the group, that is what is being seen, the kind of dynamism you express and you show and you exhibit the cooperation with the group, that is going to be assessed by the GTO. Or then is achievement of the group is closely related to the effectiveness of each individual in the group. This is understood. हर एक इंडिविजुअल जो ग्रुप में इफेक्टिवनेस दिखा रहा है, जो काम कर रहा है, वो कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है कि अचीव क्या करने वाले हैं. जो ग्रुप की अचीवमेंट है वो सबकी इफेक्टिवनेस के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. सो कंट्रीब्यूशन सभी की तरफ से होना है इसमें. Gentlemen, after having seen Gestalt theory or the principle and social aspect, now we get into consistency theory. And how does it work, that we discuss in our this slide. First thing, we are going to check variation in his performance level. How his performance is going to vary during the entire course of his interview. That is, change in the situation. The changing situation should not change his performance, and there should not be larger variations. Modification in the behavior, that also should not be there. Smaller the range of variability of his typical performance level, more consistent will be the individual. It means अगर variability उसकी कम है, उसका मतलब वेरिएशन कम आ रहे हैं उसकी परफॉर्मेंस में लगातार, इसका मतलब उसकी कंसिस्टेंसी इज गोइंग टू बी बेटर. एंड देन इज कंसिस्टेंसी डिपेंड्स ऑन मेच्योरिटी एंड लेवल ऑफ एस्पिरेशंस. हाउ मेच्योर इज द इंडिविजुअल, हाउ एस्पायरिंग इज ही, डेप्थ एंड क्वालिटी ऑफ थिंकिंग, social relations, attitude towards people, work and responsibility, type of experiences that he has had in life, and the more stable an individual, more consistent he is. So consistency theory says, gentlemen, if you are more stable, you are more consistent. So factors which are affecting it are your maturity, your depth of thinking, quality of thinking, your social relations, your attitude towards people, and the work and responsibility, how sincere you are towards your responsibility, how dedicated you are, how committed you are, type of experience one had in the past in his life, that is what is being checked here. Application of consistency in the group testing is carried out by the assessor, and the individual is exposed to the social situation, and by observing this interaction or his interaction through his behavior, it implies that there will be a situation and the individual will be exposed to that and he is being observed and for his interaction. So know this now, your behavior is being checked during your entire stay there. So please, if you think that studying in detail may not help you, there are shortcuts, there are no shortcuts. There is no substitute to hard work. There are no quick fix solutions. Therefore, the GTO will check what? And he hopes to reveal his personality trait. Means he is looking at you that you reveal your personality traits and your effectiveness in dealing with the different and situations, and observe extent of consistency in his performance level. So consistency is also being checked, and hence the variety in the task in the group testing situation. There are number of tasks which are there for you to be performed. They may be in the group, they may be in a half group, they may be in a final group, or in the form of your group discussion, your individual lecturate, your command task. So you are expected to reveal your good qualities and good traits, leadership traits, and that is what they are looking at, and please do that. Now we learn about concept of group development. Gentlemen, the process of transformation from an organized body to a well organized and fully developed group passes through certain definite, through overlapping stages of development. That is, formation is on arrival, grouping, subgrouping is carried out there. Exploration is living area, dining halls, line, uh, and group discussion. And then competition is group planning exercise, cooperation, progressive group task, and discipline is uh, group obstacle race. These are the aspects which are checked. And how do you line up? How do you live there in living area? How you behave in dining halls? How you perform in group planning exercise? How you cooperate in group the progressive group task, and your group obstacle race, how enthusiastic you there, and how careful you are about the rules and regulation. And when you reach there the SSBs and your interviews selection centers, and your grouping and subgrouping is carried out, and then this is also part of the assessment gentlemen. लेट्स सी नाउ एप्लीकेशन ऑफ ग्रुप डेवलपमेंट। जैसे कि हमने पता किया था कि अराइवल पे आपका कैसे ग्रुप सब ग्रुप में बांट दिया जाता है, और उसी तरीके से आपको लाइन में कैसे फॉर्मेशन में लाइन अप होना है, क्या कुछ करना है, कोऑपरेशन कहाँ देखा जाता है आपका, और ये सारी चीज़ें करने के लिए उसने एक प्लान बनाया होता है ग्रुप का, जो एक एक इंडिविजुअल को करेक्ट पहचानने के लिए। तो उसी का हिस्सा है ये। इसका एप्लीकेशन क्या है कि by developing an experimental group, the GTO not only ensures that this is achieved in a short time, but also all aspects of the group development have had an opportunity to develop, and in this process every member of the group has methodologically passed the GTO scrutiny। मीन्स जो भी चीज़ ये छोटे ग्रुप में, बड़े ग्रुप में, फुल ग्रुप में, हाफ ग्रुप में किया जा रहा है, आपको अलग अलग टास्क में टास्किंग की जा रही है, तो ग्रुप जो टेस्टिंग ऑफिसर है वो ये देख रहा है कि हर एक इंडिविजुअल को उसकी स्क्रूटनी से बहुत अच्छी तरह से पास होके निकल गया है। उसका रिकमेंडेशन और नॉट रिकमेंडेशन जो भी होना है वो इसके बाद उसको कोई शक नहीं उस पर, एंड ही इज अराइव्ड एट अ फाइनल रिजल्ट एंड confirmatory phase he has seen everybody. Free association. Let's talk about free association. The analogy we develop, how it is applied by the GTO here in case of the candidate, gives an example of a patient says everything that comes to his mind in a spontaneous manner to the therapist, speaks without restraint and without any attempt on his part of the therapist to produce a logical and organized disclosure. So his diseases or problem is diagnosed and he is treated well. This is how the application to the group testing is. The GTO, through his briefing and warm social contact, allays undue test anxieties of the candidate and wins their confidence. So he tries to put you at ease, because you will have a lot of anxieties for your test, what is going to happen, how they are going to test, what is the assessment procedure, and all these are making you anxious, and the anxieties develops, and he, with his all efforts, all out efforts, tries to keep you at ease, feel comfortable, so that when you go for your test, you are free of any kind of anxiety or tension or stress. Then he stimulates you to the activities. Various activities are carried out there, and you are stimulated to that, and you get into the activity, then you forget all anxieties. Group is subjected to a number of different situation based on free for all. It's like GOR. GOR is they are not testing you as individual, but they are assessing entire group. But what is happening that this is free for all. You participate in that, show your enthusiasm, you show cooperation, you show that cohesiveness in the group, and your contribution in decision making, all is being seen, but you are not realizing that you are also being observed and assessed for that. And that is just to put you out of your discomfort level. The GTO takes on a passive role as an observer with minimum but necessary and purposive interruption into the group activities. Means GTO is sitting passive. Once he is given a task, supposing there is a group discussion or lecturate, he is sitting, he is passive, he is just observing, listening, he is very focused, but then not looking at you, not disturbing you, there is no interruption. In case there is a requirement of interruption, that is the minimal interruption, and if it is necessary, otherwise he is not. So this is how he keeps you at ease. Finally, talking about sociometry. Sociometry, gentlemen, is basically the data in sociometric theory is positive, negative, and neutral feelings of the individuals. Individuals could be in these three categories. Either individual is with positive feelings, or with negative feelings, or neutral feelings. The data is more reliable if the group is not very large. So one less numbers of people are there in the group, so their sociometry is checked accurately. Gentlemen, thank you very much. This is for the day. This is for this video, and we'll follow and upload number of videos so that systematically you learn the procedures and for your interviews, not only for army, military, whichever interview SSB you are going to face, but it is for all kind of interviews being conducted by all departments and institutes for their employees to be taken in, and you follow these methods, I'm sure you are going to have a better experience in your SSBs as well as wherever you go for your interviews. And I thank you for watching, and my channel Kinetic Karma 19 or at the rate Karam SSB, and my other channel for other activities and blogs is Kinetic Karma only. So please follow, share and like, and if you find there is any difficulty, please go through this once again and as many times as you want. Also, if there is a clarification, please have a comment written in the video. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.